This day, the 9th of May, is a day of particular historic and political symbolism. It is a day dedicated to peace, to democracy, and to unity on our European continent. It's a day dedicated to the fundamental values and principles of the European Union, what we call solidarity, cooperation, mutual respect and dialogue. Today, we are honoring all of what the EU stands for. And that is why there could not have been a more meaningful way to celebrate this day than by having an open discussion with the new generation of our country, the young people who are the present and the future of our Union. Today's event is special for one more reason. We have the special honor of hosting in Cyprus the President of the European Parliament and dear friend Roberta, head of an institution that expresses directly the will of the Union citizens, that's all of us, and which guarantees its democratic character. Her presence in Cyprus on the occasion of Europe Day, of course it's not the first time she has visited us, but her presence here today is yet another concrete proof of the ongoing support and solidarity of the EU towards our country. Here, from the heart of the last divided capital of the EU, just a few meters away from the Green Line, from the ceasefire line, we are sending a strong, optimistic message to all of the EU and in our region, for reunification and for lasting peace. Your visit here, therefore, dear Roberta, takes on additional importance in this point in time, during which, with the support of the European Union and as a result of persistent efforts that our government has made, we have managed, after years of stagnation, to achieve mobility on the Cyprus issue. Despite the difficulties, the challenges, the intransigent stance of Turkey, we remain dedicated to the effort to reunite Cyprus, always in accordance with the resolutions of the UN Security Council, and of course on the basis of the principles and values of our great European family. Because for us, all of us, that daily experience the consequences of the division and the ongoing occupation for 51 years now, there is no other choice, there is no other way apart from the sustainable and functional solution of the Cyprus question. There is no other way than reunification, no other way than peace. And that is the way on which we shall proceed. On this opportunity, allow me to thank warmly our dear friend Roberta for her friendship and her support across time, by herself personally and by the European Parliament towards Cyprus and our efforts for reunification of our country. I assure you, there is no more suitable interlocutor for today's event than President Metsola, a voice that expresses the values of the Union and also a firm friend of Cyprus.
Celebrate Europe Day with us and with Cypriot youth. Your presence here on this day is both timely and symbolic, a reminder that even in Europe's farthest corners, the European Union is present and engaged. That from Brussels to Nicosia, every voice is heard, and especially that of young people. And let me assure you, dear Roberta, here in our Union's last divided capital, at its southeastern corner, we are the promise of peace, still awaits to be fulfilled, the light of Europe shines just as brightly. Φίλες και φίλοι, αν μου επιτρέψετε, έχει σημασία να αναφερθώ και σε αυτόν τον εξαιρετικό χώρο που μας φιλοξενεί σήμερα, εδώ στην καρδιά της Λευκωσίας, δίπλα από το Δημαρχείο, λίγα μόλις μέτρα από το ιστορικό κέντρο της πρωτεύουσάς μας.
I would like to mention the excellent facilities that are hosting us today here in the heart of Nicosia, just a few meters from the Green Line, the historic center of the capital. The CYENS Centre of Excellence has revived the region, has contributed in the development, in its development as a center of innovative entrepreneurship, something in which we are investing systematically. The science initiatives and making the most of European projects together with Turkish Cypriot and Greek Cypriot stakeholders are an example how the EU has the power to unite by building bridges. Today's event is dedicated to you, dear friends. Your presence here from 10 different public and private universities of the country, Greek and Turkish Cypriots, and representatives of youth organizations is very important for us because you are at the center of our efforts as a government and at the epicenter of our mission, which we have before us as a country. That is, to assume the presidency of the Council of the EU. Our vision is to improve the daily life of every one of you. We have placed you, the new generation, and its strengthening on the forefront of our actions. Recently, we have the inclusion in the electoral lists of young people and the right to vote from the age of 17 years old. This strengthens your voice and gives you the right to influence the decisions that determine your future. Dear ladies and gentlemen, on May 1st we celebrated the 21st anniversary since our accession to the EU. 21 years after that historic fifth enlargement of the EU, we may say with certainty that our membership has transformed our country. It has modernized the state, our institutions, upgraded our position internationally, and yes, improved our daily lives. Our participation on the great European family offered us solidarity and support at difficult times, at critical times, and challenging times. Our accession to the EU, our presence as a member state of the EU, offers us security, stability, and prosperity. 21 years later, we are getting ready to assume the presidency of the Council of the EU as a mature member state now with confidence and know-how. Being in the furthermost southeastern point of the EU, Cyprus brings its own perspective and geostrategic significance, which we will have the opportunity to further put forth, strengthening the relations of the EU with its southern neighbors, and also our role as a bridge between the EU and the broader region. At the same time, we know very well the challenges that the young people are facing, the issues that concern you and trouble you, economic security, access to work, to jobs, education, developing skills, mobility, entrepreneurship, innovation, housing, security, migration, the Cyprus issue. These are all issues that are at the core of our policies as a government. These are the great challenges that the EU itself is called upon to face, challenges that we will have to handle during our presidency, shaping proposals and policies in cooperation with the European Parliament, of course. Dear Roberta, ladies and gentlemen, young people comprise 25% of the population of Europe, but they represent 100% of its future. That is why their voice must be heard and taken seriously into account. Allow me, by way of closing, to thank once again the President for being with us today. It's a great honor for our country. I look forward to the dialogue that will follow. Thank you.
Κύριε Πρόεδρε, σας ευχαριστούμε. Και τώρα...
Thank you, President. And now I want to call to the floor Mrs. Roberta Metsola, President of the European Parliament.